Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to shatter a dangerous myth that has held millions back from their true potential. Wealth doesn't come from luck. It never has and it never will. Wealth comes from systems, repeatable, intelligent systems rooted in the infinite power of your own subconscious mind. Dr. Joseph Murphy, one of the greatest teachers of the hidden laws of life, revealed that true riches are not accidents of fate, but the natural outcome of disciplined thinking, unwavering belief, and conscious impression upon the deeper mind. Get ready to discover how you can stop chasing luck and start building unstoppable systems of abundance that work for you day and night. Wealth is a state of consciousness. This single truth, revealed so clearly by Dr. Joseph Murphy, changes everything about how you approach money, success, and abundance in your life. Most people chase wealth as if it were something outside themselves, an elusive prize that only lucky individuals stumble upon through fortunate circumstances or relentless grinding. They look at millionaires and billionaires and assume it must be some mysterious external force at play. But Dr. Murphy taught us the deeper reality. Wealth begins and ends in the mind. It is not primarily a matter of bank balances, investments, or material possessions. It is a way of thinking, feeling, and believing that aligns your inner world with the infinite supply of the universe. Think about it for a moment. The consciousness of health produces health in the body. The consciousness of peace produces harmonious relationships. In exactly the same way, the consciousness of wealth produces wealth in your experience. What you hold steadily in your mind, what you feel is true deep within you, what you accept without reservation, that is what your subconscious mind accepts as an order and begins to manifest in your outer world. Your subconscious does not argue with you. It does not question whether you deserve it or whether it is realistic. It simply takes the dominant feeling you impress upon it and multiplies it into tangible results. Dr. Joseph Murphy explained this principle with beautiful simplicity. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. When you genuinely feel wealthy, when you carry the inner sensation of abundance, security, and freedom with money, your subconscious mind accepts that feeling as your new reality. It then orchestrates people, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that match that inner state. This is not wishful thinking or empty positivity. It is the practical application of the law of mind. Your subconscious is like a vast universal bank. Whatever you deposit into it, thoughts of lack or thoughts of plenty, it returns to you multiplied in your daily experience. Imagine walking through life with the quiet, steady conviction that you are prosperous. You do not worry about bills or future uncertainties because you know at the deepest level that supply is constant and infinite. You look at expensive things not with envy or longing, but with the calm assurance that they are already yours in consciousness. That inner feeling begins to reshape your decisions, your energy, and even the way others respond to you. Opportunities that once passed you by now seem to seek you out. Creative ideas flow more freely. You attract the right people who can help you grow financially. All of this stems from one foundational shift, moving from a poverty consciousness to a wealth consciousness. Poverty consciousness is easy to slip into because the world around us often reinforces it. We hear stories of struggle, we see economic uncertainty in the news, and we carry old beliefs passed down from parents or society that say money is hard to get, that rich people are greedy, or that we must suffer and sacrifice to earn every penny. These beliefs sink into the subconscious over time and become self-fulfilling. You may work extremely hard, yet still feel stuck because your deeper mind is operating on the idea of limitation. Dr. Murphy warned that trying to accumulate wealth solely through the sweat of your brow and hard physical labor is one way to become the richest person in the graveyard. Effort is important, but it must be aligned with the right mental state. Without the supporting consciousness of wealth, even massive action can lead to burnout and frustration rather than true prosperity. Wealth consciousness, on the other hand, liberates you. It teaches you that you possess everything by right of consciousness. You do not need to beg, borrow, or manipulate to receive what you desire. You simply claim it inwardly first. You subjectively possess riches before you objectively experience them. This is the secret that so many successful individuals have intuitively followed, even if they never read Murphy's words. They develop the habit of feeling successful and abundant long before the external evidence appeared. Their inner world was already rich, so the outer world had no choice but to conform. Consider how this works in everyday situations. Suppose you desire a beautiful home, a luxury car, or financial freedom to travel and give generously. Instead of focusing on the current gap between where you are and where you want to be, you begin to cultivate the feeling of already having it. You relax your body and mind, close your eyes, and vividly imagine living in that home, feeling the comfort of the space, hearing the sounds around you, experiencing the joy and gratitude that come with it. You do not force the image. You let it become real to you emotionally. You saturate your subconscious with the feeling of wealth until it feels natural and believable. As Dr. Murphy taught, when you lull yourself to sleep repeating the word wealth quietly, easily, and feelingly like a gentle lullaby, that impression goes deep. Your subconscious works on it through the night, and in the days that follow, new pathways open. This process is not about denying your current reality. It is about refusing to let current conditions dictate your future. Your present circumstances are simply the outpicturing of past thinking. They are effects, not causes. By changing the cause, your dominant state of consciousness, you automatically change the effects. The subconscious mind is principle. It works according to the law of belief. Whatever you truly believe and feel at the core level, it accepts and brings forth without fail. If you have been holding thoughts of, I can't afford it, or money is always tight, those suggestions have been programming limitation. The moment you reverse them with conviction, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly. You begin to impress a new pattern. Dr. Murphy shared many real life examples of people who transformed their financial situations using this exact approach. One woman who desired an expensive ermine coat looked at it longingly, but initially felt she could never afford it. After learning about the power of consciousness, she stopped marrying the negative idea. Instead, she imagined herself wearing the coat, feeling the soft fur against her skin, experiencing the delight of owning it. She persisted in this mental and emotional rehearsal until the feeling became real to her. Not long after, the opportunity came for her to acquire it in a way that surprised everyone, including herself. She did not struggle or manipulate. She simply shifted her inner state, and the outer world responded. Another powerful illustration comes from the idea that money is like blood circulating in the body. When blood flows freely, you are physically healthy. When money circulates freely in your life, coming in, going out with joy, and returning multiplied, You are economically healthy. Clinging to money with fear or hoarding it out of scarcity creates stagnation. But when you develop the consciousness that supply is endless, you release money with joy and watch it return in even greater measure. You begin to see money as a divine substance, a neutral tool that reflects your inner beliefs. There is nothing inherently good or bad about money itself. Thinking makes it so. When you bless it and see it as a channel for good, it flows toward you naturally. Building this wealth consciousness requires consistent practice because the subconscious responds best to repetition combined with feeling. Mechanical words alone will not work. You must know what you are doing and why. You must pour life, love, and genuine emotion into your affirmations and visualizations. One effective way is to sit quietly each day, relax your body completely, and reflect on the source of all wealth. Ideas come from the infinite mind. Wealth flows from the same creative intelligence that created the universe. You are connected to that intelligence. Therefore, your supply is unlimited. Repeat a simple truth such as money is forever circulating freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus. Say it slowly, with conviction, feeling the reality of it. Do this several times a day, especially before sleep, when the subconscious is most receptive. As you continue, you will notice subtle shifts. Worry about finances begins to lose its grip. You feel lighter and more confident. You make better decisions because you are no longer operating from fear. You celebrate the success of others instead of resenting it, knowing that their prosperity proves the abundance available to all. You become a magnet for opportunities because your energy vibrates at the frequency of wealth. People are drawn to those who carry an inner sense of abundance. Doors open that remained closed before. Creative solutions appear for old problems. This is the subconscious mind at work, magnifying whatever you have impressed upon it. The beauty of this principle is its universality. It does not matter where you start financially, whether you are in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, or already doing well but wanting more freedom. The law remains the same. Wealth is a state of consciousness that anyone can cultivate. It is your natural birthright. Infinite riches are all around you if you will open your mental eyes and behold the treasure house of infinity within you. The gold mine is not outside in the world of matter. It is inside your own mind. Dr. Murphy reminded us again and again that the marvelous miracle working power lies in your subconscious. Once you learn to contact and release it through disciplined thinking and feeling, you can bring more wealth, more power, more joy into your life than you ever dreamed possible. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. Change your thoughts persistently, and you change your destiny. When you choose to dwell on ideas of prosperity, when you feel the joy and gratitude of having more than enough, when you reject lack and limitation with calm certainty, your entire life begins to rearrange itself. You stop chasing luck because you realize luck is simply the name people give to the workings of the subconscious when they do not understand the law. Systems of thinking, feeling, and believing, these are what create lasting wealth. And the first and most powerful system is the development of a wealth consciousness. As you walk this path, remember that the subconscious magnifies whatever you give it. Deposit thoughts of riches, and it returns riches. Deposit worry, and it returns more reasons to worry. Choose consciously. Feel wealthy now. Act as if the abundance you desire is already yours in mind and heart. Speak words of prosperity with conviction. Visualize with vivid detail and emotional intensity. Give thanks in advance for the riches that are on their way, This is not fantasy. This is the application of timeless mental and spiritual laws that Dr. Joseph Murphy spent his life teaching. The more you live in the consciousness of wealth, the more evidence you will see in your daily affairs. Unexpected income arrives. New clients or customers appear. Investments grow. Ideas for businesses or inventions come to you at the right time. You handle money wisely, constructively, and judiciously because your mind is aligned with abundance rather than scarcity. You use wealth for good, and it flows back to you multiplied. This creates a beautiful cycle of circulation and growth that benefits not only you but everyone around you. Dr. Murphy often pointed out that your vitality, your financial condition, your relationships, all are perfect reflections of the ideas you hold about yourself. What you impress upon the subconscious is expressed in every phase of your life. Therefore, make the decision today to impress only the highest and best. Claim your right to be rich. Know that God, or the infinite intelligence, is the source of your supply, meeting every need at every moment. Feel the truth of these statements until they become part of your being. Wealth is a state of consciousness, and you have the power to enter that state right now. It does not require waiting for external conditions to improve. It does not depend on luck or inheritance or perfect timing. It depends solely on your willingness to discipline your mind, to feel the reality of abundance deep within, and to persist until the subconscious fully accepts the new pattern. When that happens, the outer world must conform. Riches flow to you freely because you have become a channel for infinite supply. You live in the consciousness of wealth, and therefore wealth lives in you and through you in ever increasing measure. Continue to nurture this inner state day by day. Let every thought, every feeling, every mental picture support the truth that you are prosperous, successful, and abundant. Reject anything that contradicts it. Replace doubt with faith. Replace fear with confidence. Replace lack with the joyful acceptance of limitless good. Your subconscious is always listening, always responding, always working to bring your dominant consciousness into visible form. Give it the glorious idea of wealth, saturate it with the feeling of already being rich, and watch as your life transforms in wonderful and unexpected ways. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Hold this truth close, live it, breathe it, become it. Your subconscious mind, that universal bank of infinite intelligence, stands ready to multiply your every positive impression into tangible riches, freedom, and joy. This is the foundation of all true prosperity, the unshakable knowledge that wealth is, first and foremost, a state of consciousness that you can claim and embody starting in this very moment. Your subconscious is a universal bank. This profound insight from Dr. Joseph Murphy reveals the hidden mechanism through which all true wealth and abundance are created and multiplied in your life, far beyond any physical financial institution with its limited resources and strict rules. Your subconscious mind operates as an infinite, ever-responsive universal bank that receives your mental and emotional deposits and returns them to you with limitless compound interest. Whatever idea, belief, or feeling you impress upon it, whether thoughts of wealth or thoughts of lack, it magnifies, grows, and manifests into your outer experience without fail. It does not judge, argue, or question your deposits. It simply accepts them as instructions and sets to work orchestrating the people, circumstances, opportunities, and events that bring those impressions into tangible reality. Dr. Murphy often described the subconscious in exactly these terms, a sort of universal financial institution. It magnifies whatever you deposit or impress upon it. Deposit the idea of poverty, constant struggle, or I never have enough, and it will faithfully multiply those conditions, bringing more evidence of limitation into your daily affairs. Deposit the idea of wealth, endless supply, and boundless prosperity, and it will compound those seeds into rivers of abundance flowing toward you from unexpected directions. This is not magic or superstition. It is the reliable operation of the deepest law of mind. Your subconscious is connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe, the creative power that knows no boundaries, no shortages, and no delays when properly directed through clear, feeling-filled impressions. Consider how a regular bank functions. You place money into an account, and with interest over time, it grows. The more consistent and larger your deposits, the greater the returns. Your subconscious works on the same principle, except its capacity is unlimited and its interest rate is infinite. Every thought you think with conviction, every emotion you feel deeply, every mental picture you hold vividly is a deposit. The subconscious takes that seed idea and begins to nurture it, expand it, and express it in your life. If you repeatedly think and feel, money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly, that statement becomes engraved in the deeper mind. It becomes a conditioned state of consciousness, and the universal bank starts paying dividends in the form of new income streams, creative ideas, favorable opportunities, and even unexpected windfalls. Most people unknowingly make poor deposits day after day. They worry about bills, complain about rising costs, focus on what they lack, and replay stories of financial hardship. These negative impressions sink deep into the subconscious, which then works overtime to confirm them as reality. You may work long hours, chase opportunities frantically, yet still feel stuck because the dominant programming in your universal bank is one of scarcity. Dr. Murphy warned that trying to force wealth through sheer hard labor without aligning the subconscious is one sure way to exhaustion and frustration. The real power lies in changing the deposits first. When the inner account is filled with thoughts of abundance, the outer world must reflect that richness. The process begins with understanding that your subconscious never sleeps. It is always active, always receptive, especially during moments of relaxation, quiet reflection, or just before sleep. That is why Dr. Murphy recommended specific practices to make powerful deposits. Sit quietly, relax your body completely, and repeat a truth such as, money is forever circulating freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus. Say it slowly, with deep feeling and conviction. Know what you are doing and why. You are not repeating empty words. You are writing a new program into the universal bank of your mind. Pour life, love, and emotion into the statement until it feels real and natural to you. As you do this consistently, the idea takes root and grows. One powerful technique Murphy taught is to marry wealth. Just as you mentally unite with an idea in marriage, becoming one with it, you unite with the concept of prosperity. Claim and feel, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. God, or the universal intelligence, is the source of my supply, and all my needs are met at every moment. Feel the joy and gratitude of already living in abundance. This mental union impresses the subconscious so deeply that it begins to attract the symbols of wealth, money, opportunities, clients, promotions in countless ways. The subconscious knows no obstacle, difficulty, or delay. Once impressed with the idea of wealth, it works ceaselessly to bring it forth. Real-life examples from Dr. Murphy's teachings and the experiences of those who applied his principles illustrate this universal bank in action. A woman who desired a luxurious Cadillac had no visible means to acquire one. Instead of dwelling on her lack, she began to impress her subconscious with vivid mental pictures. She imagined herself driving the car, feeling the steering wheel in her hands, enjoying the smooth ride, and experiencing the pride and freedom it brought. She persisted in this feeling until it became a natural part of her consciousness. Not long afterward, her uncle passed away and left her not only the exact Cadillac she had visualized, but also a substantial estate. The universal bank delivered in a way she could never have planned consciously. The how is not your concern. The subconscious, connected to infinite intelligence, handles the details. Another story involves a man facing severe financial difficulties. He had lost much of his wealth and felt overwhelmed. Rather than focusing on the loss, he began to affirm with conviction, "I can change water into wine." To him, this meant transforming poverty ideas into the realization of wealth. He repeatedly told himself that he had attracted money honestly before and could do so again. He relaxed daily, imagined himself successful once more, and felt the reality of renewed prosperity. Within a short time, new opportunities emerged, and he rebuilt his fortune. The universal bank had magnified his renewed deposits of faith and expectation into tangible results. A young singer struggling for recognition used a similar approach. He would sit quietly, relax his body, and vividly imagine performing before a microphone, hearing applause, and receiving congratulations on a wonderful contract. He felt the thrill of success and the financial rewards that came with it. He gave this mental image his full attention and devotion regularly. Before long, a major contract came through that took him on international tours with excellent pay. His hidden talents were released and financial worries disappeared. The subconscious had taken his clear, emotional impressions and multiplied them into a prosperous career. Even in business and professional life, this principle works wonders. A minister whose church was struggling financially began to impress his subconscious with the idea, "God reveals to me better ways to present the truths of God to my fellow creatures." He repeated this with faith and feeling. Soon, innovative ideas flowed, attendance grew, money poured in, and the mortgage was paid off. He never worried about finances again. The universal bank had responded to his positive deposits by expanding his influence and supply. A man who once earned $1 million and then lost it during tough times refused to accept defeat. He affirmed that he could attract the symbol of wealth again just as he had before. He maintained the mental attitude of prosperity even when funds were low. Within 4 years, he rose from an ordinary position to vice president and then president of his company. The subconscious magnified his persistent belief and brought forth new levels of success. These stories are not exceptions. They demonstrate the normal functioning of the law when you make wise deposits. Your subconscious is never short of ideas. It contains an infinite number of creative solutions ready to flow into your conscious mind and appear as cash, opportunities, or breakthroughs. When you deposit the idea of God's wealth or infinite supply, it responds by opening channels you never imagined. Unexpected checks arrive, new clients appear, investments appreciate, creative business ideas emerge at the perfect time. All because the universal bank is compounding your impressions of abundance. To make effective deposits, Dr. Murphy emphasized the importance of feeling. Mechanical repetition produces little result. You must know the truth you are affirming and pour genuine emotion into it. Feel the joy of financial freedom. Feel the security of constant supply. Feel the gratitude for riches circulating freely in your experience. One simple yet powerful practice is to repeat quietly before sleep. I am now writing in my subconscious mind the idea of God's wealth. God is the source of my supply, and all my needs are met at every moment of time and point of space. God's wealth flows freely, joyously, and ceaselessly into my experience, and I give thanks for God's riches forever circulating in my life. As you persist, your entire financial vibration changes. You stop attracting lack because you are no longer depositing it. Instead, you become a magnet for prosperity. People sense your quiet confidence and are drawn to work with you. Opportunities seek you out. You make wiser decisions because fear no longer clouds your judgment. You bless money as it comes and goes, knowing it is a neutral tool that reflects your inner state. When you give with joy and circulate wealth constructively, the universal bank returns it multiplied. The subconscious also works through hunches, intuitive ideas, and sudden inspirations. A quiet impression to call a certain person, explore a new market, or invest in an idea can lead to major financial gains. These are the ways the infinite intelligence within you communicates when the bank is properly programmed with wealth consciousness. Trust these inner promptings, act on them with faith. The more you do, the stronger the connection becomes. Remember that wealth is ultimately a subconscious conviction. It is not about forcing or struggling, but about conditioning the deeper mind to accept abundance as your natural state. Build into your mentality the ideas of wealth and success through consistent, feeling-filled deposits. Reject any thought of limitation the moment it arises. Replace it immediately with a statement of truth. Infinite riches are all around me. I open my mental eyes and behold the treasure house of infinity within. Your subconscious will then magnify that realization. The universal bank never fails when you understand its law. It responds perfectly to what you impress upon it. Deposit thoughts of prosperity, and it gives you compound interest in the form of ever increasing abundance. Deposit worry or doubt, and it multiplies those as well. The choice is always yours. Choose wealth. Choose to impress your subconscious daily with ideas of endless supply, divine surplus, and joyous circulation of money. Feel these truths deeply. Liven the quiet expectancy that all your needs are met and that riches flow to you in avalanches of abundance. As you continue this practice, you will notice the outer world reshaping itself to match your inner deposits. Bills become easier to handle. Income increases in both expected and surprising ways. Creative solutions appear for old financial challenges. You move through life with a sense of ease and confidence because you know the universal bank is working for you 24 hours a day. It knows no boundaries of time, space, or current economic conditions. It draws from the infinite storehouse of the universe to fulfill the patterns you have established. Dr. Murphy taught that the trouble with most people is that they have no invisible means of support when external conditions fluctuate. They rely only on visible sources, jobs, markets, or savings without tapping the inexhaustible power within. Once you awaken to the truth that your subconscious is this universal bank, you become independent of outer circumstances. You abide in the consciousness of eternal supply. Panics, inflation, or market shifts no longer disturb your peace because your real wealth is anchored in the deeper mind. Every day offers new opportunities to make fresh deposits. In the morning, affirm your oneness with infinite intelligence and claim abundant supply. Throughout the day, bless every financial transaction and see money as flowing freely. In the evening, review your impressions and reinforce the feeling of wealth before sleep. when the subconscious is most impressionable. This disciplined approach builds a strong, prosperous consciousness that cannot be shaken. The universal bank also multiplies your good when you celebrate the success of others. Envy or resentment are poor deposits that block your own flow. Instead, rejoice in others' prosperity, knowing it proves the abundance available to all. This generous spirit opens even wider channels for your own riches to arrive. Your subconscious mind, this magnificent universal bank, stands ready at all times to magnify whatever you give it. It is the faithful servant that turns your dominant thoughts and feelings into experience. Impress it now with the highest ideas of wealth, success, and freedom. Feel the reality of money flowing to you easily and joyously. Know that you are connected to the source of all supply. Let every mental deposit reflect the truth that you are prosperous, that riches circulate endlessly in your life, and that there is always more than enough. The universal bank will respond by compounding those impressions into visible, tangible wealth in ways that delight and surprise you. This is the reliable, scientific way Joseph Murphy revealed for creating lasting abundance by mastering the deposits you make into the infinite bank of your own subconscious mind. Stop hard labor, start smart impressions. This is one of the most liberating truths Dr. Joseph Murphy ever revealed about the path to genuine wealth and lasting success. For centuries, society has drilled into us the belief that the only honorable or reliable way to build riches is through relentless physical effort, long exhausting hours, constant grinding, and the sweat of the brow. We are told to work harder, sacrifice more, push through pain, and burn ourselves out in the name of achievement. Yet Dr. Murphy exposed this as a dangerous illusion that leads many people straight to exhaustion, poor health, and an early grave while still financially unfulfilled. He famously observed that trying to accumulate wealth solely by the sweat of your brow and hard labor is one sure way to become the richest person in the graveyard. You do not have to strive or slave hard. The effortless way of life is not only possible, but is the truly intelligent and sustainable approach when you learn to harness the infinite power of your subconscious mind through smart, aligned mental impressions. The core idea is simple yet revolutionary, massive. Misdirected physical effort without the supporting mental and emotional framework often produces diminishing returns, frustration, and burnout rather than true prosperity. Your conscious mind, with its limited willpower and analytical thinking, can only push so far. It tires easily, encounters resistance, and frequently meets obstacles that feel insurmountable. But when you shift to smart impressions, clear, feeling-filled thoughts and images planted deliberately into the subconscious, you activate a far greater intelligence that works tirelessly on your behalf. The subconscious knows no fatigue. It operates 24 hours a day, drawing from infinite creative intelligence to orchestrate solutions, opportunities, and outcomes that your limited conscious effort could never force into existence. Dr. Murphy repeatedly emphasized that some of the wealthiest and most successful individuals work relatively few hours, yet accomplish extraordinary results. They do not slave away at tasks they dislike. Instead, they align with what they love, infuse their work with joy and enthusiasm, and allow the subconscious to multiply their efforts through inspired ideas, perfect timing, and favorable circumstances. The difference lies not in the quantity of sweat poured out, but in the quality of the mental seeds sown. Hard labor alone, disconnected from inner conviction and intelligent direction, becomes a form of self-punishment that keeps you trapped in cycles of struggle. Smart impressions, on the other hand, create an effortless flow where right action emerges naturally, ideas arrive at the perfect moment, and doors open without frantic forcing. Consider the common pattern so many people fall into. They wake up early, rush through long workdays filled with stress and resentment, stay late to get ahead, and collapse into bed only to repeat the cycle. They believe that more hours, more sacrifice, and more grinding will eventually break through to abundance. Yet year after year, despite the exhaustion, their financial situation improves only marginally, if at all, while their health, relationships, and peace of mind suffer. This is the trap of relying exclusively on conscious, ego-driven effort. The subconscious, ignored or programmed with thoughts of struggle and limitation, continues to magnify those very conditions. You may push harder, but without changing the inner blueprint, the outer results remain constrained. Smart impressions reverse this entirely. Instead of forcing outcomes through willpower and brute persistence, you relax, quiet the conscious mind, and deliberately impress the subconscious with the desired end result. You feel the reality of prosperity, success, and freedom as already accomplished. You visualize with vivid detail and emotional intensity. You affirm truths such as, "Infinite riches flow to me easily and joyously," or "I am guided to right action and perfect opportunities at the right time." These are not empty phrases. When charged with genuine feeling and repeated with conviction, especially in relaxed states before sleep, they sink deep into the subconscious like fertile seeds. The deeper mind then accepts them as orders and begins working ceaselessly to bring them into manifestation. This approach does not mean you stop taking action. Far from it, inspired action that flows from aligned impressions is far more effective and enjoyable than forced labor. When the subconscious is properly impressed, you receive intuitive hunches, creative breakthroughs, and a natural urge to move in the right direction. Tasks that once felt burdensome become effortless because you are no longer fighting against inner resistance. You do the thing you love, or you find ways to bring love and purpose into what you do, and the subconscious handles the how in ways your conscious planning never could. Dr. Murphy shared many illustrations of this principle in action. He told of people who stopped frantic striving and began to build wealth consciousness through quiet, persistent mental work. One executive who had been overworking for years learned to relax each evening and impress his subconscious with ideas of harmonious success and abundant supply. Instead of pushing for promotions through politics and endless overtime, he focused on feeling the joy of achievement and visualizing himself in a higher role with greater freedom and rewards. Within months, unexpected opportunities arose, and he advanced with far less effort while enjoying better balance in life. The smart impressions had done the heavy lifting by aligning external conditions with his inner state. Another powerful example involves individuals in sales or creative fields who discovered that worrying about quotas or forcing client interactions created tension and poor results. When they shifted to impressing the subconscious with the feeling of successful transactions, easy connections, and satisfied customers, their demeanor changed naturally. They became more relaxed and confident, which in turn attracted better prospects. Sales increased not through harder pushing, but through smarter inner alignment. The subconscious orchestrated meetings, ideas for presentations, and even the right words at the right time. A young person starting with little capital but a strong desire for independence stopped believing the myth that only back-breaking work leads to riches. Instead of taking any exhausting job available, they dedicated time each day to impressing the subconscious with the idea of doing meaningful work that brings both joy and financial reward. They repeated truths about infinite supply and guidance, feeling the excitement of prosperous self-employment. Creative ideas soon emerged for a small venture that grew steadily. What began as modest steps expanded through inspired opportunities rather than relentless toil. The individual worked smartly, enjoyed the process, and watched abundance unfold with surprising ease. Dr. Murphy often pointed out that the trouble with most people is they have no invisible means of support. They rely solely on visible effort, jobs, physical output, market conditions, without tapping the inexhaustible reservoir within. When economic shifts occur or energy wanes, they feel helpless. But those who master smart impressions develop an inner security that remains unshakable. Their subconscious becomes a constant partner, supplying ideas, solutions, and channels of wealth regardless of outer circumstances. This creates true freedoms, the ability to live prosperously without being enslaved to constant hard labor. The mechanism behind this is the law of the subconscious. It responds best to relaxed, confident impressions rather than tense, forceful ones. When you struggle and strain with the conscious mind, you often invoke the law of reversed effort, getting the opposite of what you desire because the underlying feeling is one of difficulty and lack. Smart impressions avoid this pitfall by cultivating the feeling of ease, natural flow, and already achieved success. You impress the end result so vividly that the subconscious mobilizes all its resources to make it real. It draws upon universal intelligence to connect you with the right people, timing, and resources. To practice this effectively, begin by recognizing that your current financial struggles are largely the outpicturing of past mental patterns, perhaps beliefs that money requires suffering or that success demands sacrifice. Release those old programs gently, then establish a daily routine of smart impressions. Find a quiet time, relax your body completely, and dwell on the feeling of wealth and accomplishment. Imagine yourself living with financial freedom, paying bills with ease and joy, enjoying the things you desire, sharing abundance generously. Feel gratitude as if it is already your reality. Repeat a simple, powerful statement such as, "Wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance through easy and joyful channels," until it feels natural and believable. Especially powerful is the practice before sleep. As Dr. Murphy taught, lull yourself to sleep with the word wealth, or a short affirmation, repeating it slowly and feelingly. The subconscious is highly receptive at that time and will work on your impressions throughout the night. Many people have awakened with fresh ideas, solutions to problems, or a renewed sense of direction after consistent practice. This is the subconscious delivering on the smart impressions you planted. Smart impressions also transform how you approach daily work. Instead of dreading tasks or forcing productivity, you can impress the subconscious each morning with ideas of harmonious, efficient, and rewarding activity. You move through the day with greater calm and creativity. Challenges that once drained you now become opportunities for inspired solutions. You accomplish more in less time because you are working in alignment rather than opposition. This is the effortless way Dr. Murphy described not laziness, but intelligent cooperation with the deeper mind. People who adopt this approach often report surprising shifts. Income increases through new streams they never pursued aggressively. Promotions or better opportunities arrive with minimal campaigning. Creative projects that stalled suddenly gain momentum. All because the heavy lifting of manifestation is handled by the subconscious while they focus on inspired, joyful action. They stop equating worth with exhaustion and begin measuring success by the quality of results and the peace they experience. It is important to understand that smart impressions require persistence and faith, just as any worthwhile endeavor does. The subconscious needs consistent, dominant impressions to override old patterns of struggle. At first, doubts or old habits may surface, but you gently redirect them by reaffirming the new truth. Over time, the feeling of ease and abundance becomes your natural state. You no longer believe that hard labor is the price of success. You know that aligned mental work multiplied by subconscious power produces far greater and more sustainable results. Dr. Murphy reminded us that wealth is ultimately a subconscious conviction. Build that conviction through smart impressions rather than through endless striving. Do the work you love, or bring love to the work you do, and let the subconscious multiply your efforts. Some individuals work only a few focused hours a week, yet generate substantial income because their inner programming supports effortless flow. They have replaced the myth of no pain, no gain with the reality of right impression, right manifestation. As you continue impressing the subconscious with ideas of abundance, guidance, and joyful prosperity, notice how your energy changes. You feel lighter, more creative, and more optimistic. Physical exhaustion gives way to inspired vitality. Relationships improve because you are no longer carrying the heaviness of constant struggle. Opportunities appear that match your new inner state. This is the beautiful outcome of choosing smart impressions over blind hard labor. The subconscious mind is your perfect partner in creating wealth without unnecessary suffering. It asks only that you give it clear, positive, feeling-rich directions. When you do, it responds by bringing forth ideas, plans, and circumstances that make the journey smoother and the rewards greater. You stop chasing success through force and begin attracting it through alignment. You work less frantically and accomplish more meaningfully. You enjoy the process because it flows from inner conviction rather than outer pressure. Smart impressions are the intelligent system that Dr. Joseph Murphy taught for building true and lasting riches. They honor the infinite power within you while freeing you from the outdated belief that wealth must be purchased only with blood, sweat, and tears. By shifting from exhaustive labor to purposeful mental and emotional planning, you open the door to a life of greater ease, higher achievement, and deeper fulfillment. The subconscious stands ready to magnify every wise impression you give it, turning your inner vision of prosperity into your outer experience of abundance in ways that feel natural, joyful, and remarkably effortless.